Good day. Thank you for joining us for a fresh edition of the program Evidence on Canada English. After 10 months of being held incommunicado, that is here in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, the interim leaders of the Amazonian Republic finally went to court at the Yaoundé Appeal Court this week. They went to court for the very first time since they were extradited from Nigeria to Cameroon. We are receiving the lead counsel of the lawyers, defending Ayuk Tabe Jilos and the other leaders of the Amazonian Republic. His name is Barrister Fu Jonso. Thank you for coming, Barrister.
Thank you very much.
We're here to talk about the arrival or the appearance of Ayuk Tabe Sisiko Jilos and the others in court. That was on the 1st of November this year. How did this come about?
Well, you know that this matter started in the High Court. And the very first day, very first hearing, the judge dismissed us, even though the warrant that was served, the gendarmes did not respect it, and the people were not in court. The judge did not even give us an opportunity to say anything. We did object, though, that we cannot say anything until our clients are in court. And she went ahead and ruled against us. That was the High Court. Court of Appeal, the first hearing, the warrant was served on them, they did not come. Second hearing, the warrant was served on them, they did not come. Third hearing, the warrant was served. The Avocat General, who had served the warrant, was in court. And all of a sudden, the colonel in charge of SED entered. And the judge said, it's you that we're waiting for. Where are the detainees? He said, no, my lord, I just saw the production warrant on social media. She said, what? Then the Avocat General stood up and said, my lord, this is a proof of service. Proof to show that I executed this warrant on the 9th of October. The man looked up, looked down and said, I'm sorry. He got embarrassed and the judge ordered, I want to see those people before me on the 1st of November. So judge, it was a court order.
Now, Barrister, on the 1st of
November, they brought them to court.
On the 1st of November, the leaders were yes.
Before that, the day before, the 31st, for the first time, me and two of my colleagues were allowed entry into their cells, and we saw them, we met with them, and we prepared them for yesterday.
Barrister, we will start from on the 31st of October, where you were permitted for the very first time to enter the court or to enter the cells for the detained leaders. When you arrived at the cells, you saw the detained leaders. How many did you see?
No, the 10 leaders. They were all there. The other 37, it's a different story. The 10 leaders, they were all there. And we had a working session. It was quite a good reunion. We were very happy with them. Ayuk Tabe was always in control, and we had a good working session to prepare them for the hearing of the following day.
Barrister, we have time to talk about the other 37 leaders. You say their own case is different. You explained to us. But when you arrive the cells of the detained leaders, how do you evaluate the conditions under which they are detained?
No. We did not actually enter their cell. They have a sitting place where they brought all of them and put us, and they were sitting there, and they set chairs for us, the council. We sat there and we talked with them. We didn't enter their cell per se. But looking at them, these are people who have been in detention incommunicado for so long. Sunlight is like air to them. They have not seen sunlight for so long. So they sat there and we talked with them. We had a good time. We talked with them 30 minutes only. And we utilized the 30 minutes to be able to brief them on what we intend to do, what will be happening in the court. And that was it.
And finally, on the 1st of November, the 10 leaders, including Ayuk Tabe Julius, were at the Yaoundé Appeal Court. Inside the court premises, barrister, what did they tell the magistrate or the judges?
I'm going to disappoint you, Dominic, because I'm not going to tell you the substantive matter that took place in court, because a matter that is still before the court, I'm not permitted by our ethics to say anything about that. But all I can tell you is there was a lively debate on the issue, and the matter was adjourned for the 15th of November for ruling. That's a judgment.
Barrister, when you say lively debate, what are you implying?
No, I'm talking about the matter for which we came to court. We filed for immediate release of them because they were arrested illegally. And that is called habeas corpus. We did the filing, and we came ready and submitted our case. So, and of course, the state had to reply. The state defended the state position. It was a lively debate, that's all. I cannot go any further than that, because the matter is before your lordship of the court of the Court of Appeal of the Central Province, and she is a very strict, and to the letter, I appreciated her demeanor.
You just explained there a while ago that the detained leaders were able to explain themselves. How many of them spoke?
I'm not going to say that. I'm sorry. I know that the judge, after hearing the lawyers, offered an opportunity for them to talk, and each one of them spoke.
At least, no doubt that Ayuk Tabe Julius spoke.
I am not going to tell you that, Dominic. I'm not going to tell you those who spoke, those who did not speak. All I'm telling you now is that the leaders were asked to speak, and some of them spoke. 5 of them spoke.
5 of them spoke.
Yes.
Now, Barrister, when you listen to them talk, what impression do you have? Or what do you think? What do you think they still have in mind as far as the Anglophone crisis is concerned?
If you're asking me, I will tell you that they are as determined as before. No dodging. And Ayuk Tabe is very much in control. He's the president. I can tell you that. But they also spoke as non-citizens of Cameroon, because they had denounced the citizenship of Cameroon, and they were there in Nigeria. They had filed asylum in Nigeria. They were refugees from Nigeria, and all of a sudden they came and kidnapped them and brought them before the Cameroonian court. They are no longer Cameroonians, they say.
So they are asking for their release to go back to Nigeria?
If they are to be released immediately, the government must take them back to Nigeria where they caught them.
And what will happen to the Nigerian government that participated in the...
That is a story for another day, Dominic. But the fact of the matter is, they were taken from their country of residence, where they are resident as refugees. We are saying that they should return them to Nigeria.
It has been very curious this time around, Barrister, since on the 1st of November, that these 10 leaders went to court, yet we have not seen any picture, any image of these leaders.
Let me tell you what happened yesterday. You will be very disappointed, but let me tell you what happened. The whole court area was militarized. Even the family members who came to listen to the case, they were all put aside, put out there. You had soldiers armed to the teeth, the gendarmerie, armed to the teeth, and some in civilian dresses with dark glasses spread out in the population. Nobody was allowed to take any picture. Nobody. Nobody. I have not seen one picture out. You take a picture, they will not only take your camera, your phone, they will also arrest you. So nobody took a picture.
What explains that, Barrister?
That's the way repressive regimes function. In an open society, you journalists are supposed to cover the hearing. But in our society, will remain a primitive and repressive regime with a police state, and everything is the barrel of the gun. So that's the country we have. We have to learn to live.
Barrister, since people couldn't take pictures, no coverage, as mentioned there,
But I did give a press conference right there in the court.
Yes, but you saw these leaders. How are they dressed? What can you say about their health?
They were dressed in tracksuits. They were dressed in new tracksuits. Apparently, when the people knew that they were going to take them to court, they bought them new tracksuits, removed the old ragged ones that they had.
Which means they've been wearing racks in their
No, they have been wearing some worn-out tracksuits. Now they bought them brown new tracksuits. They came to court with new tracksuits and always slippers, bathroom slippers, sans confiance, like we say. Dominic, you don't want to get yourself into that kind of situation, do you?
The case has been adjourned to the 15th of November.
For ruling.
For ruling on the 15th of November.
Yes.
That will be coming shortly after the swearing-in of the president-elect, President Paul Biya. And the date too is coming a few days to the holding of the All Anglophone General Conference in Buea. This timing, what meaning do you read out of it?
I don't read anything. And I don't even consider him a president-elect because he did not win the election.
That should be another subject for another day.
No, I take responsibility for saying that.
Yes.
Now, secondly, I don't have any reading. If he's minded to release our people, and to grant amnesty to those who are in jail, and to call for a ceasefire, well, we can sit and talk. Until then, Dominic, whatever you're calling a conference in Buea or anything, it's a story for another day.
Barrister Free Johnson, you are the lead counsel of the lawyers defending Ayuk Tabe Julius. Given that the court case or the trial have been adjourned for the 15th of November, what are you expecting that particular day? I'm
expecting a ruling either way. Immediate release or no release. But if you look at the way the case was done, and you look at the judge in front of you, who to me, from my evaluation, is a judge of the law, because she gave me the impression that she masters the law. Normally they should be released, but you know we're in a repressive regime. The regime calls the shots. They can tell her, look, don't release them. No matter how much law she knows, she's vulnerable. I'm not prejudging anything, but I'm saying that I am expecting a ruling either way.
You're expecting a ruling either way, which means, I mean, no matter the ruling that will be given that particular day, you are ready to accept. Now, after the ruling on the 15th of November, as we are expecting, how do you think the ruling either way can affect the process of resolving the Anglophone crisis in Cameroon today?
It's not going to. If it is ruled in our favor, the people will go back to Nigeria, and that does not affect what is on the ground. If it's ruled against us, the people will still stay in their dungeon and will proceed to the Supreme Court. As simple as that. We are not giving up. We want every level of the judicial system in Cameroon to hear this matter, and we are going to go to the summit of the judiciary. I can promise you that.
So if it is ruled against the Abazuna leaders, you take the matter to the Supreme Court of Cameroon?
Yes, yes. And I also want to say that there are two prongs. We are laying the foundation for an international court. I'm not yet there, but we are laying that foundation. We will lay that foundation. But if they release them, we may reconsider the next step.
Now, Barrister, let's come back to these other 37 leaders that were equally taken from Nigeria to Cameroon.
From Taraba State.
10 from Taraba State. 10 leaders were in court. That was on the 1st of November. Where are the other 37 leaders?
They are there instead. They are there instead.
Why is their case different, Barrister?
It's not different. Their case, we are going step by step. They came from Taraba State. The leaders came from Abuja. They have different sets of facts. We are filing for them next week, for the 37. And there's another 11 that came from Calabar. We are going to proceed exactly the same. All of them refugees will proceed exactly the same. Nigeria and Cameroon will regret for having done what they did to fellow Africans. So the law on refugees, the Convention on Refugees ratified by this country in 1961, that convention that was promulgated in 1954 was ratified by Cameroon in 1961 on refugees. Cameroon and Nigeria flouted it, and flagrantly. Nobody should be allowed to violate international law and get away with it.
From what you explained, we have 11 from Calabar. We have 37 that came from Taraba State.
Yes.
And the 10 leaders that were arrested in
Abuja,
Nigeria.
So we are going step by step.
They have status of refugees.
All of them have status of refugees.
Since you are following this process in court, what assistance have you gotten from the refugee organizations that take care of refugees?
No assistance from the refugees. We are getting assistance only from the families, nobody else. I'm talking on national television. I don't need to disclose where we are getting assistance. I'm not going to disclose where we are getting assistance, but if you want to go legally, we are getting assistance from the family. The assistance, we are not charging any fee. We are working for free. All the lawyers, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Metin Doki Michelle, who was in court with us, and she was one of the 4 who submitted. And I'd like to appreciate her joining us, especially my senior colleague from Bamenda, Barrister Badi Young, was up to the task, and the rest of us we did a good job. As I can tell you now, we are waiting for the ruling.
If you are just tuning in, this is Evidence. We are receiving the lead counsel of Ayukta Julius Sisiku and others that appeared in court on the 1st of November in Cameroon for the very first time since they were taken from the Federal Republic of Nigeria to Cameroon. We are receiving Senior Barrister Fu Johnson, who was equally in court yesterday. The case was postponed to the 15th of November this year.
For judgment.
For judgment to take place. Barrister, we mentioned to you earlier that the date, 15th of November, is coming a few days to the holding of the All Anglophone General Conference in Buea. You discussed with these interim leaders under detention in Yaoundé. What do they think about this coming together?
We didn't bring that up. It's immaterial.
But they are begetting about it.
Yes, but how would they hear? They are in detention incommunicado. They don't know anything taking place out here. So nothing about the conference, nothing about anything that they know. And I like it to stay that way. Whatever you call a conference, the question that comes to my mind, Monzo and his group, Monzo has a hidden agenda of federalism. Everybody knows. They should think twice about that conference. That's all I'm going to say.
Given that if the leaders are released on the 15th of November, do you think they will attend the conference on the 21st of November?
I'm telling you that the leaders know nothing about any conference. And they are not being released into Cameroon or anywhere else. They are going to be released and taken back to the country where they captured them from. As simple as that. They have heard nothing about any conference, and I don't want anybody to go there and start talking to them about the conference. Sorry.
So what can you tell us about their position about the form of state now? Remains the same?
They are people, I've told you that they have renounced Cameroonian citizenship. They filed for asylum in Nigeria. They have been living in Nigeria. Eminent professors, one of them being a professor of surgery in Ahmadu Bello University. He has even taught in this country. He has involved in high-level research. At the time of his capture, he was working for the United Nations. And you go and capture them from a foreign country and carry them in your military plane, unprotected, no seat belt, nothing, unprotected, and you brought them here. They don't know anything about your conference. They will have nothing to do with your conference, whether released or not.
That is serious there, Barrister. Now, earlier on you mentioned something about the results of the presidential elections that have just been proclaimed. Cameroonians are waiting for the swearing in for the next president to take over the country for the next 7 years. What is your take on the presidential elections that just finished in Cameroon?
I am telling you that I want to tell you that I was in the Divisional Counting Commission of the Vore in 1992. I can tell you I know the procedure very well. The first proclamation of any presidential election is found in Article 113 of the Electoral Code, and that is at the polling station. They read the results one by one, they record it, and then they proclaim the winner right there and fill the reports, and everybody signs and they distribute. Professor Kamto gathered all those polling station results that came to him as his representative brought to him, and showed him winning 39.something% against probably 38.something in the whole country. And now they go and sit down and cook results and take it to the Constitutional Court, and that masquerade that you call the Constitutional Court, filled with CPDM militants. What judgment were you expecting from them? I'm not going to sit here and begin to discuss matters concerning La République du Cameroon, because they negotiate me.
But Barrister,
this country has brought the African continent down to the pit. The first country, a respected country in Central Africa, will bring Africans down to this level. The rest of Africa is laughing at Cameroon. So you sit there and tell me about presidential election.
Now, the president of the National Episcopal Conference in Cameroon, His Grace Archbishop Samuel Kleda, mentioned the results of presidential elections for the CPDM party coming from the far north, the northwest and the southwest regions of the country in favor of President Paul Biya were exaggerated.
Yes.
How do you react to that?
I react to say the man of God is speaking the truth, because that is what the person who is called upon to proclaim the good word to the world has only one obligation: to speak the truth. And Bishop Kleda spoke the truth, and the other members who are also called upon to proclaim the word, other bishops of the Beti clan, the one is head. They will not get it. They will not get his head. He is the president of the Episcopal Council of Cameroon, and that is what it is. Until his term is over, everybody can go to places. He has spoken the truth, and let nobody, if you want to try to kill him, you try, let's see.
Barrister, we're a few minutes to the end of this 30 minutes program, Evidence. What do you have to say as far as the continuous killings in the northwest and the southwest region of the country? This week, the news of the killing of an American missionary was announced in Bambui, the northwest region of the country. There have been a controversy of who killed the missionary, Charles Wesco. What is your reason to rising conflict that is escalating on a daily basis in the English-speaking regions of Cameroon?
The Cameroon army is out to eliminate the Southern Cameroonians. They are killing the population. They are killing the civilians. They are not killing the Amber Boys. They are killing civilians. And an American happened to fall prey of their bullet. But let me say this. They can talk up and down. The FBI will come on the ground. I mean, you cannot kill an American and get away with it. So FBI will be on the ground and will know who killed the missionary. They can put all the fake communiques on social media the way they want, but the truth shall always prevail. They kill us, they kill our young people and get away with it. They massacre our people in Pinyin, they massacre in Chomba, they massacre all over, they are massacring, they are killing our young people, and their bullet has caught a missionary. Just like another missionary was killed in Batipo from Ghana.
Ghana nationality.
Yes. Look, man. They have every question to answer about the death of that missionary in Bamenda. And I'll leave it as such because it's under investigation. The FBI will get to the bottom of it. They should know what to be telling the Americans.
Barrister, before we go, perhaps your last words on what Cameroonians should expect as the case of Ayuk Tabe Jilos and others comes up on the 15th of November.
I don't know. I'm not going to address Cameroonians. I'm addressing Southern Cameroonians. And I'm telling our people that Cameroon comes on, one day our people will be free. If the ruling is against us, we will be proceeding to the Supreme Court. That's not the end of it. Let Mr. Biya come to his senses and do the simple things. One, declare a ceasefire. I have always said so. Two, release all our people in his dungeons. And three, pass an amnesty law so that our people who are living in exile should come back home.
Thank you very much, Barrister Frujohnso. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying with us for this edition of the program Evidence, in which we receive Senior Barrister Frujohnso. He is the lead counsel defending Ayuk Tabe Jilos Sisiko and the others in detention in Yaoundé. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dominic Memengwa Kimo. Stay tuned to more programs on Canada English.